Welcome to the Bawse Mom Movement Podcast, where we keep it real about balancing motherhood and ambition. Join 3 moms with 3 unique journeys as we empower moms to thrive in every role they own. Because here, we don't just juggle life, we boss it. Let's get into it. What's going on, Bawse Moms? We are back and we are here for season 6, y'all. Season 6, episode 1. And as you can see, I have 2 lovely co-hosts that are joining me as we move forward in this relaunch for the Bawse Mom Movement Podcast. Hey, y'all.
Hey, girl.
Not on sync, though. I haven't told y'all. I feel like we're a girl group today. So I'm excited. I hope y'all are excited as well. For those who don't know, let me just give y'all a little intro to who I am as the podcast original host. I'm Ashlei White, the CEO and founder of the Bawse Mom Movement, where we are confidently balancing motherhood and ambition. And while I took a 2-year break, y'all, 2 years, wow. I just decided, I'm like, okay, the show needs something new. We need some new energy. How do I want to move forward with this, with the vision, and one, being in a studio like we are today, but also having extra voices. So if you've been listening to the podcast, you know I usually interview other moms and just about their journey into motherhood, their careers, ambitions, and all the things. But I wanted to hear some voices alongside mine on a continuous basis. So I asked my 2 lovely friends here, Bree and Lericia, to join me as they are both mothers as well and have their own footprints in their ambitions, whether it be entrepreneurship, doing a 9-5, doing ESPN, all the things, right?
Yeah.
And so, I wanted to hear from them. So I gave y'all my intro to them. And also, for those who don't know, this is my best friend of 20 plus years and my line sister for over 10 years. So there's connectivity here, which is why I asked both of them to join. So I gave y'all my introduction of them, but I want to hear from them with their own personal introductions. So I'll start with Lericia.
Hello. I'm excited to be on. Thank you for asking me to join you. This is going to be great. I know it is. And Bree, so excited we can do this together. I'm Lericia, and I am a twin mom. I have 2 3-year-olds, a boy and a girl. So every day is an adventure.
Yes.
My background is communication, so I do a lot of reporting, a lot of marketing, advertising. So I'm a mom who juggles a lot, just like the rest of us.
No, absolutely.
Right. I'm like 2 kids at the same time.
Right.
At the same time. Same time.
And she knocked them out, boy and girl.
Right.
I think that's everybody's dream.
I'm done. It's a wrap.
One and done, literally.
I'm done.
Like,
I'm good.
Absolutely. Well, Ashlei, thank you for having me. I am so excited to be a co-host on the Bawse Mom Movement Podcast. My name is Nicole. I am a 7-figure serial entrepreneur, which is... It's a lot. It's a lot. And so I am now a new mom, and that has slowed me down tremendously. Okay. And we'll, deep dive into more of those things throughout this season. But I'm just happy to be here. I'm now a stay-at-home mom. That's different. And so I'm really new here. My daughter is, she's 3 months. Yeah. So she's fresh out. Yeah. So I'm just so excited to be a mom. I love being a girl mom. It's been a journey thus far. Pregnancy was a journey, and it's just a whole new world.
Yeah, for sure. It's so funny because we used to have those mommy talks. Like
Girl.
before Bree got pregnant, when I got pregnant, she's like, I want a baby. And I'm like, girl, I said, you're going to be slowing down. Like all the things you thought, like how you was going, because Bree go. Okay?
Yeah.
Business, travel, all the things. I said, that baby going to slow you down.
And she absolutely has. And it's so amazing to kind of just like witness the transition, because I feel like God slowed me down, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it was like as soon as I found out I was pregnant, everything just, it was a lot of bad things that happened during my pregnancy, but they opened new doors for how I am now. So I'm like, okay, this I'm starting to see what's actually going on. And I also just want to show that, moms can do it all, but at some point you still have to slow down and kind of sit with yourself and kind of understand. And so she actually taught me a lot about myself and how I was moving, and was like, okay, some things just got to, chill out on and, just really sit down and be present in the moment. Because it taught me a lot about just being more present with family versus just me, money,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely can relate to that as well, because even though I'm in the 9-to-5 corporate space, I was like business, working
Yeah.
after 5. I mean, the last 2 weeks, I've definitely been working after 5, but just being present in the moment, like you were saying, and prioritizing. That's really what it is. It's like I keep seeing these things on Instagram. It's like, oh, who said moms can't have it all, or we can have it all, but like prioritize how we have it all. You know what I'm saying? So I just know, like, and even you, Lericia, because you was on the go too,
All
traveling
the time.
and
all the time. Traveling, on the go, working, because in my field, I literally would have to go every weekend, be gone Thursday through Sunday, or if I had to go during the week, all of that. But having my babies, completely changed everything.
Right.
But it's not a bad thing. Like, even my dreams change. Like, they have evolved.
Yes.
And a lot of people oftentimes get afraid or scared of that, which I definitely was. I was like, wait a minute now. Like, how can I still go after what I want? But you can. It just evolves a little bit.
Right.
And now, like you said, Bree, my eyes are open to a lot more things that are like truly important.
Yeah.
Because for me, like boundaries, I don't play about them.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes, you know, you might have to work out after 5. I mean, work after 5, or, you know, a little bit. But like when my babies come home, that's it. You got to wait till they go down. And then I can pick up and do other stuff. But yeah, it completely slows you down, makes you reevaluate everything, and really prioritizes like what's important, what do you want to do, like how do you foresee your life, how do you want to continue to move forward with these new additions, because now everything I do is for them.
Literally.
Everything I do is to make sure that they're happy, they're set up, they're good. But at the same time, I still have to take care of me. Still got to take care of mama.
And I think something that a lot of women don't understand too is family. Like now you have a man to take care of as well. And it's like, you know, even though you have your boyfriend, you have your husband, you have your partner, it's like when you actually bring this little human or little humans into your life, it's a whole different world as well. And so I was actually just talking with my boyfriend about it, and we were like, he was like, a lot of people break up after they have the baby. And I was like, yeah. And I said, a lot of people are kind of anticipating that onto us. And we were just kind of going back and forth about it. And I was just like, I'm doing a dang on good job balancing this house and take care of this baby, take care of you. Because, you know, with him being, you know, big entrepreneur, it's like his schedule, his life, everything is so demanding, so crazy. And it's just like, wow, I like to literally just go from, you know, everything me to now it's just like everything them. And it's like I'm kind of last on the backboard, and I had to remind him. I said, you know, I'm still important.
Right.
I'm still, you know, somebody. So it's like I take care of everybody. But I think that a lot of times women kind of overlook that too, because like your whole family becomes, you know, if you're fortunate to still be with your family, like that becomes your whole entire life too.
Literally.
It does.
It does. And we definitely going to dive into more of these conversations, these authentic conversations, just about the journey, right? Because it is things that we don't talk about, because you either usually feel like you're alone, or you just don't want to share. Maybe it's uncomfortable, all the things. And so that's one of the reasons why I started this podcast, because I wanted to know, what is the journey like? What can I expect? Even though we all walk our own personal journeys in this motherhood life, paths that we're all going down, but it's still some similarities that kind of, you know, just bring us all together as women, as moms. And so that's why we're here. And we're going to make sure we give the people what they want to hear, right?
Yeah.
With our own journeys, and just learning as we go, because no journey is perfect. You know? So I'm glad to have y'all here. And that is, I mean, just even what you all were saying, the dynamics that you all have in your lives. That's why I invited y'all to be my co-host, because I felt like you all had something to say, and things that other moms can resonate with, whether they are, you know, working 9 to 5, whether they're entrepreneurs, whether they're married, whether they're with their boyfriends, and, you know, 2 kids, 3 kids, 1 kid. I mean, we just said one, you know, whatever.
5 kids.
Exactly. Like, I feel like we all had something special to bring. So I'm super excited to walk on this new journey with y'all.
Yes.
Thank you. I don't know. I'm going to say it on here too. Thank you. Because I know I told y'all before, but I appreciate it. So
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. I'm
opening.
excited.
Yes.
Because this is such a new journey for me. And it was just like, going through pregnancy, so much unsolicited advice is thrown at you. And then a lot of people, when you also have a platform, they come asking us questions. Yeah. And it's just like you said, no, journey is the same, but it's still just like more navigational. Because a lot of stuff didn't get answered for me, especially as a Black woman going through pregnancy, postpartum, things like that. So I'm excited for this season.
Yeah, for sure. And it's Q4. We're going into the last of this year. 2024 has been crazy. Like,
it has.
Just even outside of personal, just society. We went through elections this year, and just coming up off of that, and watching a woman run for president, a Black or woman of color, how she wants to identify with a woman of color. It's just been a lot of things, and I just feel like as we wrap up the year, I just wanted to kind of dig into y'all mentally, like how we feeling, because that's another thing we don't do, like. Yeah. As a culture, right? As Black people, we don't really talk about mental health as much as we should. Yeah. And then when you add motherhood on top of that, it just becomes even more difficult, and we face a lot of things that we don't talk about. So just kind of as we wrap up the year, like, how y'all feeling?
Child. I think that just sums up how everybody feels. No, I'm just kidding. But, man, I want to say, like, first of all, as an adult, it's like you just blink and it's a new year. I feel like I was just, finding out I was pregnant at, the end of 2023, top of 2024. And it's like, now she's here. This is going on. And truly, I could honestly, like, truly say here right now, my mental health is not the best. Yeah. And that's probably just being, a new mom and a lot that I've taken on my plate. But I'm in therapy, so... Hey, that always works.
I'm in therapy.
I'm in therapy. But yeah, I just feel like I think it's just been a major transition. Just, me trying to find that balance, because I just thought like, oh, I could give birth and go back to just being super entrepreneur mom person. And that didn't happen for me. And so, like I said, transitioning to being a stay-at-home mom has been like kind of a hit on me. A lot of people are like, you should feel blessed. You have this community. Your man's taking care of you. This is going. And I'm like, I don't like that. I'm not feeling this. And I know we'll go into more, just as we go into like just different relationships and dynamics. But for me, I always wanted to be married before I had a baby. So it's hard on me too, just like fully trusting somebody. Like, what if you wake up tomorrow and you like, girl, what about this house?
Okay, right.
And, luckily, like I said, have my own in some way, but it's like as you continue to be a stay-at-home mom, you just become more, just having to lean onto your man for certain things, and it's just like, dang. Yeah. So I don't know, it's just been kind of rough with me transitioning in that way.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And I feel like because too, like you said, I mean, you're an entrepreneur, you've been an entrepreneur for the last 10 plus years. Like first of all, that's a decade of work, that you've built. And that I just feel like anything in life, like 10 years, number one, is a long time.
Yeah.
Shoot, 2 years is a long time to me if you think about it. But it's like this person that you've known and that you've grown to be just as an adult, and now, like everyone else that's a mom, it's like that transition. Okay, boom, now I got to take care of somebody. But then, like you said earlier, boom, I got to take care of the man too. Like, and just be the woman of the household. And it can be a lot, especially because there's no book to this.
No,
I mean, really even if it was, would it matter?
There's no step by step. Everyone's blueprint is different,
right?
Yeah. Like we can get things from each other, but we ultimately have to like figure it out.
Exactly.
And figure out what works for our household. And the whole transition after becoming a new mom, girl, that is so real.
Like,
that is so real, because you have a whole new identity now.
Yeah.
So you have to establish and figure out like, okay, well, who am I? Because I've been there where you have that feeling of wanting to continue how you were before.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's like, okay, well, now I can't.
Yeah.
I have to balance that and figure out how I can maybe bring that into this new situation I have now. And that can be rough. It can be tough. So we've been there. Yep. I totally understand, because sometimes I feel like I'm still
barely hanging on sometimes.
Literally. And I'm glad you said that blueprint, because there's so many people that just assume because you have support, or maybe if you have a little bit of money, or if things happen, that postpartum isn't for you. And I started to realize, like, my mom was like, Brie, I think you're going through postpartum, because for the longest I was just like, I have a
Your
support
mom
system.
too?
Yeah,
Look,
well,
our
she
moms
was,
both on the same.
oh, she told you the same
Yes,
thing?
'cause I
Yeah,
had no
because it was
idea.
like, for me, it was just, I wouldn't want to say a denial. I don't really, because you kind of really don't know what it looks like, especially
Yeah.
as a
Right.
very first time mom. But it's
True.
just like, oh my goodness, I'm sitting here and I'm just like, the way I'm feeling, everything. But it's, you know, I'm like, I have a support system. My man is here. He's doing this. He wakes
Yeah.
up. He's helping. But it's not that.
Yeah.
You know
I
what I'm
think
saying?
it's a
It's a
mental
mixture
fight.
of so many things. And I think so many people think that it just looks like you having nobody and sitting in a dark room and just crying. And
but
that's
Yeah.
just
it's
not what it
different
is.
for everybody.
Yeah.
It
And
is
some-
different for everyone.
Some of those things are kind of like a Band-Aid or like a mask, right? Because we are doing so many things and so many responsibilities and things that we have to think about. Because even for me, just thinking about a busy day, right? It's
Yeah.
like I have this to-do list running in my mind all the time. Like, you know, okay, don't forget to do this. And I write things down. I have all the calendars, digital calendars, written calendars, right? All the things. And then it's still that list that mentally just runs all day into the night. And that's the mental piece, right? And then also trying to figure out, like you said, who am I, right? Does this person fit into this new equation, right?
Yeah.
Like, or what do I need to adjust with who she was? And that's why I tell moms all the time in the Bawse Mom community. It's like, that person doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
It's like you're reinventing yourself, right?
are.
Like you said, new passions, new dreams, and like, okay, do I even like this anymore? Do I even like these people anymore?
And that's
that I'm
a
hanging
real
out with?
question,
You know what
because
I'm
it's
saying?
so
Like,
crazy at so many things I do not like anymore.
that
And
she
that
was
is
like, but
real.
I did that
Yes.
all the time. So how? But it's
Yeah.
just like, no, I have this little person now, and I'm like, not to say that I'm. And it's, well, I guess you can say it's like I'm changing for them, but also
Yeah.
for the betterment of me
Yeah.
too. Because
For
like
sure.
you said, we're all usually the back burner, right? But it's like also, I'm like the glue.
Yeah.
You know, we're the glue as the women. We keep it all together. Because if I forget, I know ain't nobody else gonna remember.
No, truly.
You know, so like that's why I say, okay, I'm just thinking about the end of the year. You always usually get anxiety around it. At least I do.
Yeah.
Like goals, like, okay, what did I accomplish? Did I do anything I said I wanted to do on that vision board? That usually just ends up in the corner. But, you know, trying to do better.
Yeah.
But as we just go into 2025, I'm like, I feel like we just need to do a mental check-in. Like,
Yeah.
what's up?
And as I'm like setting my goals for 2025 and, you know, starting off, you know, my year hosting a conference, like the conference for me last year just flowed so easily. It was just like boom, boom, boom. But it's like now as a mom, you're like, okay, this has been so much. But as I'm setting goals and as I'm going through things, I'm just realizing that it's just like day by day, month by month, week by week, for me at least, just being a new mom and, you know, just understanding how that intertwines with my baby and, you know, her growth. Because I'm like, okay, top of year, she'll be 5-6 months. So, you know, just understanding, give myself that grace and understanding that I do have the pleasure of watching her grow and, you know, being present. So I want to make sure I'm there for that. And so
For sure.
I think that too, because I had seasonal depression like horribly, you know, before having her. And so it's just like, I'm just excited.
Yeah.
So that's really how I feel about just ending out Q4. It's just like, okay, I'm not going to set too many goals. Normally I'm an overachiever. So like I said, it's just going to be, you know, monthly goals, daily goals, weekly goals for me. So that's how my new norm is. Yeah.
So for me, like finishing out Q4, I feel like I can actually breathe a little bit. Like I'm at peace with where I am in life, this season that I'm in, because I feel like I've truly accepted like this new version of me.
Yeah.
I love
And
that.
it took me a while. I mean,
I was about to say, you 3 years in.
I'm 3 years in. But that's the thing, like
Yeah.
the timeline is different. Everybody works differently. And like now I can truly say like, okay, this is good. I'm okay. There's no more resentment or frustration or trying to push back on what you thought it was supposed to look like or how it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like, I'm truly at peace and feel like I can breathe.
I love
And
that.
for me, that has like been so refreshing.
Yeah.
Because I have had a lot happen this year. I got married this year.
Ooh, if you like to put a ring on it, baby.
I love that.
Moved into our new home this year.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of changes.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're still changing as a mom every day because now we're in this tantrum potty training phase. And
Lord have mercy.
baby, that's a lot.
Okay.
That's a lot.
Thank God for
But-
preschool.
Ooh, Ooh,
because they
amen.
help.
They help. Thank you to my
I'm
baby's
like,
teachers. Thank
okay.
you. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Jesus.
I mean, for me, it's good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm truly thankful for this space because I wasn't always here.
Right.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to get here. But again, that's why I always tell people, like, whatever your timeline is, like, let it be.
Yeah.
Because what works for you may not work for someone
Hello.
else. Like,
That part.
and I was okay with taking my time to
Yeah.
truly, like, get to this space. So I'm happy that I'm ending 2024, like, feeling that way.
Yeah.
I love that.
I do too. It's like a sigh of
Yeah.
relief. And
It is.
And it's like holiday season, so you should be
is.
peaceful. It
Yeah.
should be happy. Granted, I know it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like what it's like intended to be. It's like that happy
Yeah.
time with your family and you know all the feels. And so I'm glad you found your peaceful moment, honey. Got that
Yes.
ring. Show the people the ring, baby. So get it. Can we?
I
get
love
it? Can
that.
We, can we close up on
Right.
that?
Close up on that ring, okay?
Mrs. Collins.
Right, period, honey, because she had to correct me earlier. I'm like, yeah, Lericia Harris, Collins. Yeah, correct
Collins.
me.
Mrs. Collins. No, thank you.
But I definitely agree though. Like, I too feel like so. If for those that don't know, right, Lericia and I were pregnant the same time.
We
Our
were.
kids are a couple of months apart. So we're in the stages, the 3 stages, the toddler stage, and I see all those little memes. It's so funny, and I repost all of them because mom humor is something like we have to
It's
laugh at the
hilarious.
stuff, right?
Yes.
And I'm just like, yeah, I'm barely hanging on because he's swinging from the light pole and doing all the things, and I love the journey.
Yeah.
I just love watching him grow and watching his personality come out. Is like, cause I look at him all the time. I'm like, how you know how to do that? How you know how to say that? And the way he fits his words into sentences is just like last night he was like, "Whew, that was close." I was like, "What?" Like, how did after he ran across the living room, but it's just like, oh my gosh, I birthed this human. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, and so, like you say, like just coming into Q4 holiday season, like I'm almost feeling peaceful. I would say mentally I'm draining. I'm drained. I'm a little mentally drained professionally because I have switched in my job. Some things have changed. And so I feel like I'm trying to catch up and just reacclimate myself. And so that's why, you know, I've been having those long days after 5 days because I want to be like, you know, or I was at a point when my child get home, like that's it, that's all, you know, until it's time for whatever else I'm supposed to be doing. But I haven't, the past, 2 weeks, I haven't been there. So it's like for me trying to mentally get there to where I'm at a point where things feel like I'm coasting at work. But personally, I would say it's peaceful. I'm excited about the holidays. We just moved a couple months ago, so I'm excited to decorate the new crib. Like, oh my gosh.
My Christmas tree's already up.
I was about to say, I already started too.
Look, and I'm like, okay. And I actually just told my boyfriend, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just do like some Thanksgiving first. Fall, still finishing that
is literally just a holiday in the middle of Christmas season.
I know.
So it's just like everyone keeps saying like, "Oh, y'all try to skip Thanksgiving." We're not. It's just a small holiday in the middle of Christmas season.
See, and
so yes, my tree
I'm
is
not
up.
gonna decorate right now, and I love it because I'm walking down the aisles cheesing at the Christmas decor like a freaking freak. Like, what? But I'm so ready. But I keep my tree up past New Year's, so I'm like, I'm not
I
gonna
don't do that.
Yeah, see, I'm that person, so I don't want to start too early because then we'll be almost 3 months. Then I can't. That's too much. But just thinking about like Q4 overall, like I'm excited about that, but also just a new year. Like I feel like this year was good, but I've had a lot of self-transformation moments where it's like,
that's good.
girl, get your ish together. Like literally, I talk to myself all the time, so I'm not afraid to
too.
say it. Like I have to have conversations.
Yeah.
Like, okay, what are we doing? Because 1 minute you're high, you're low. Like it's too much up and down, and we need to get at a point where it's a little like easy, you know, like emotionally. And part of that is because I've been really struggling with the Bawse Mom, like just keeping hope alive. With the movement itself, after the summit, I was just like outdone. I'm like, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore. I had initially set for the podcast to relaunch in January. Here we are in December. And it's okay because that was God's plan.
Okay.
But we're always fighting God's plans with our own, you know,
Very
trying
true.
to say like, this is where I'm supposed to be because this is where I want to be. And so me just having to take a step back and say, girl, you can't control everything. And what's going to be is going to be on its time, not yours. And so I've been having that battle. So I feel like in that sense, kind of just being a little at peace with that feeling is what I'm like entering. And so I'm excited about the new year because I want to embrace more of that, of just letting go and letting God, you know, like, so.
And we
For
want you
sure.
to let go and jump on me and Bree's train with this Christmas decor.
Yeah, girl.
Okay.
I'm going to get my decor. Don't worry. I'm right behind y'all. We literally said like the day after Thanksgiving, this stuff is going up. Like even Lawrence is like, so when we putting the tree up? Like,
I don't know what you waiting on.
I told you because I keep my tree up. See, he like the day after Christmas, he wants to take it down, and I'm not. No, we're going
I
into
mean,
the
you
new
can just
year.
take it down. It doesn't have.
I just feel like that's a long time, but you know, I'm
your
just gonna.
tree up.
I also
Put
want
the
to get
tree
new
up.
decor because I want a different theme.
Target's having 50% off Christmas decor until the 16th.
See,
That's
I could be
today.
going to
And
Target.
Michael's has a sale as well.
I never even thought of Michael's for Christmas
they have
decor.
Yeah.
beautiful decor in there.
I know. I'm like, I know Michael's, but like,
I'm creating like a huge. So I've gotten into this the TikTok bow trend because like we have bows.
Your
I
bow
have
was
bows
cute,
on my tree this year, but I'm creating my big foam bow. So of course I had to go to Michael's.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I saw that
You've
on
been
TikTok.
seeing them on TikTok?
Yes.
Yes,
Send it to
they're
me.
huge. Yeah, girl, I'm sending
see,
it to you
I'm not
because
even a decorator. I'm trying to like get
I
more
told
into
you
that.
I wasn't like that because I've had seasonal depression. I haven't put
But
up.
you're creative though, like anyways.
Yeah, I was like I haven't put up Christmas decor in like four years,
you're a
maybe.
mom
Yeah.
now.
But I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm so excited. I have Ava and I can do all this cool stuff. And
Yeah.
so she looks at the Christmas tree light every night, like, oh, and I'm like,
So
And
amazing.
it's only going to get worse as she gets older, too. Because
only
I am a
imagine.
fanatic right now because my babies love it.
yeah.
And
Girl,
the only reason why we don't have our Christmas tree is because we're getting a real one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
See, I feel like I want to get into that too. Well, he's older now, but where he knows, like, okay, we're going to pick out the tree. Because I remember that as a kid. Like when, you know, we used to go pick out the tree and I used to get excited.
Yeah.
I just don't like the cleanup after. The aftermath of the tree. And
Yeah.
I like to be able to, you know, box my
I
tree
just
up.
remember when we were
Get it
younger,
out.
just having to make sure the tree didn't catch on fire, having to keep the water because you have to keep the tree watered.
Yeah,
I just
true.
remember my dad always like, I make sure I water that tree.
Oh, see,
So with the real
I'm not
trees,
ready
because
to
if
get
the
no
water,
tree.
yeah, because if you don't do that, the tree could catch on fire from the lights to the actual real
That's
tree.
true. Yeah.
Yes, that's the only. Like I remember like the fun of going to pick out the Christmas tree, but I also remember like the hassle as a
Yeah,
kid.
and
Like,
that's what I
make sure that
remember,
tree don't catch on
too.
fire. Like, God dang.
Yeah, I don't remember the fire part, but I do remember my mom was just like, it was just a lot to keep up. That's why
Yeah,
we
because you gotta keep it
transitioned
watered.
into-
Because if not, if you have the lights on all night and stuff like that,
Yeah.
without the water, it can
And
catch
we
on
do keep
fire.
them
And then
lights
now it's a
on.
Christmas freaking tragedy. So
we don't need that. We don't
yeah,
need that.
so make sure y'all water that tree.
Well, I definitely want to encourage any mom that's listening. Like, y'all have heard us and just talk about our mental, and Bree mentioned therapy. And like, I just want to keep on talking about therapy because we don't do it enough. You
Oh,
know,
absolutely, we
and
don't.
I loved when we had Nisha come into the community a couple weeks ago for a
Yes.
wind down, and it was like a therapy session. Like, we was all on there almost crying with the, I mean,
Yes.
plus the wine, but you know, just like the feels were there. And I just feel like if more moms just kind of like tap into that, like, not saying that we doing bad, but we would probably be a lot better mentally, you know, just on a continuous basis, and not when just something is wrong, right?
Yeah.
Because that's how we look at therapy. It's like, well, nothing's wrong, so I don't need it. But like, sometimes you just need to talk to somebody and vent.
I like to look at it as
Yeah,
maintenance.
for sure.
The way you maintain your car, you need to maintain yourself.
Yeah.
So go, just like you go get an oil change, just talk to a therapist.
Yeah.
If everything going okay, tell her everything.
It's
or
going
him,
okay.
Everything is good.
Right,
Like,
right.
we all right.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with
Now
that.
tomorrow I might not be, but today,
Right.
I'm
Today's
all
all
good.
So,
For
yeah.
sure, for sure. Well, hopefully, you know, we all start our 2025, you know, with a bang. even if it's just I'm alive. I'm
Okay.
alive and I'm hanging in there. But whatever that bang means to you, because I know like we all have those, like I said, vision boards and saying I'm gonna do this in the first 3 months. I'm definitely telling y'all, and y'all keep me accountable because I'm gonna be in the gym so I can get thick.
Girl,
You know what? Meanwhile,
we gonna be in the gym. We gonna be in the gym for sure.
Together.
For
We making
That's
a
one thing
let's
about
make
it
a
is I
pack.
definitely.
Not a pregnancy pack, but a gym pack.
gym pack.
Yes.
There we go.
No,
We in
I
the gym.
seriously, like, we talk about this way too much. Me and Kenny just like, he's like, girl, just go to the gym. Right. It even got to the point where he was just like, you want me just to pay for the light bulb? I was like, no.
But then again, yeah.
I thought about it. No, I'm actually going to try to go to the gym. So
Yeah, we're gonna get back active. Okay, so that's
For
that's
sure.
the Bawse Mom Movement Pack, y'all. Like even for y'all listening, we're going to the gym in 2025.
That's
Okay.
Yes.
But you got to start a little bit like now, because people be just trying to jump in, and if you ain't been doing it, like you can't just jump in. I can't. Can y'all?
I can.
Well, we're not. You're
Yeah.
a special case, okay? Because
I was like, I could kind of hop into the gym. I think because I was working out so much before pregnancy, but it's more
but
so
on
like,
the continuous basis of like what you were doing before.
Yeah,
Oh,
you just have,
I
you
mean,
have to
yeah.
go slow.
That's
You
what I'm
gotta
saying.
yeah.
feel your way
That's
back
what.
No,
So when
not
I
in what
say
I was
like
doing
just jump back
before.
in, that's what I mean. Because people be like,
Okay.
"Oh, I'm gonna be 5
But I
days a
was-
week," and I'm gonna be like, "No, you gotta pace yourself.
Yeah.
Start small.
yeah.
You know."
It's just, for me, truly, it's just the consistency, because it's like, I can go down there, but it's just like,
Yeah, that one
I just
day.
be looking at her, and then I look, and then I'm just like, all right. It's just, I don't know. I'm tired. Sleep deprivation.
Yeah, and you're still. I mean,
you're
those
a-
couple.
I'm
them
very
3
new in
months
this,
in.
yeah,
Yeah. So you give yourself grace.
Give yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
know,
But at
even
the
if you
same
just-
time,
One day.
trying to be a mom and a bad.
Look at us being
immediately
vulnerable.
after.
Right. Trying to be a mom and a bad bee. I know that's
Right.
right.
Well, that actually takes
Yeah.
us to our vulnerability moment.
Yes.
And with this, we wanted to create a space for moms or even expecting moms, whoever you may be.
Yeah.
If you have a question and we can answer it, whether it's about our journey, about our careers, about motherhood. We just want to be able to be open books for everyone. So we call this the vulnerability moment. And today's question is, how do you stay motivated when you're discouraged as an entrepreneur?
And woo.
We're gonna look at Bree
Yeah, we're gonna look at Bree.
to pop this one off.
Honestly, because me, I'm a new mom, been an entrepreneur for 10 plus years. But honestly, staying motivated is really a mindset. So mindset shifts are everything, especially in entrepreneurship. Like, you have to be able to believe in yourself to even get to this point. Just completely honest. People are always like, oh my goodness, you're so motivational. You're so inspirational. I want to be like you. I'm like, you can't be like me if you just have a mindset shift. So honestly, staying motivated is going to come with creating, certain systems in your life. And when I say systems, it could be systems for your business, but it could also be systems for your household. And that could just look like, putting a schedule in place or understanding what, is going to be here or there. Oh man, because I could just feel like I could go on for days when it comes to trying to stay motivated. And honestly, looking at the light at the end of the tunnel, because it's going to be ups, it's going to be downs, there's going to be slow days, especially if you rely solely on entrepreneurship to be your full income. There's going to be slow days, but you have to treat those slow days like they're days where you have thousands of dollars coming in, because listen, a lot of people hop into entrepreneurship and they don't treat it like their 9 to 5, or they don't understand that this is now a 24/8 job.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to literally look at God.
Turn to God. He got the answer.
Pray. No, seriously, like
Yeah.
I really feel that way, because it's like I can go in circles around trying to stay motivated as an entrepreneur, but it's going to be so many different things. But I feel like if you look at God for your source, you kind of really understand like why you actually did this,
Yeah.
and understand like where you're actually trying to go. But at the same time, it's also, like I said, having those systems in place, making sure you understand your back end numbers, making sure you have a system in place for your actual household. Because if you don't have that type of scheduling for yourself, it's gonna just be like you're just kind of there, you know, like just like a blob. Like for me, before baby, it was waking up at 5:45, going to the gym, praying, meditating, you know, starting my meetings at this time, finishing my meetings by 12, making sure I grab lunch. You know, everything was the same each day, and that could sound boring to some people, but that's how I became successful. So you know, as long as something works for you, and waking up earlier, even now with having the baby, I still wake up sometimes a little bit before her to have that quiet time. Yeah. If that makes sense, to just kind of sit in my thoughts. I don't have nothing to do, but I want to sit in my thoughts. So I feel like that kind of brings you back to your motivation, understanding your why and where you're trying to go. You know, so a lot of people kind of lose sight of that, especially as you start to make money, you could lose motivation too. And I say that to say, because a lot of times as people start to make money, they start just spending money frivolously and feeling like, okay, you know, I've made it, I'm doing this, but not really still understanding their why. And then you look up, you're like, what just happened? Right. Like, where did so you're like, okay, because you don't have that motivation to keep going. So yeah, a lot of people, that's entrepreneurship is hard. Yeah. And I like what you said earlier, is like people don't treat it like the 9 to 5. And I've seen a couple of entrepreneurs like even say how it is best to have that 9 to 5 before jumping into entrepreneurship, to learn about the structure, to learn about just working, because I think people confuse themselves with entrepreneurship as if you don't have to still work. Like it's even more work. Let me go ahead and say a piece on that, because especially something I was always telling my employees. One, it is so amazing, and you know, just please start with working for somebody. You want to gain those interchangeable skills that you can bring from those jobs over to your business. So many people want to just hop straight into entrepreneurship, don't understand Word, don't understand QuickBooks, don't even understand, you know, just so much that goes into it. And it's like, even if you're just a waxer, say you're a waxer, you work at Wax by Andrea, you can take those interchangeable skills and the knowledge that company can teach you and open your own wax studio. But so many people just want to hop into it, or they just start an LLC and they're like, oh my goodness, I'm an entrepreneur. And a lot of people also don't even understand that you really aren't your own boss. Your client is your boss. Your customer is your boss. So those are the people. And if you're not catering to them, if you didn't take customer service skills to understand how to treat these people, then how are you actually going to be running a business? That's why so many people are failing. And a lot of people are also confusing influencer. Influencer is not an entrepreneur. You have not built anything from the ground up. Just because you get on Instagram, you get paid for influencing someone does not make you an entrepreneur. And I just really, really hate that for this generation, because so many people apply for jobs and they don't have a work ethic, and they go, well, I'm a boss. Okay, well, because you have 100,000 followers and you came in here, you have no skills, you have no idea how to do anything. Just because Fashion Nova paid you to post their outfit, you have not built anything from the ground up, so you have no idea what it is like to be in the mud and the hustle of things and actually run something. And so then they look at their boss like, oh, like that was me and my employees. You know what I'm saying? They're looking at me like, oh, you're getting on the money. I get paid last. Okay, I'm paying y'all. I'm sacrificing everything for this business, for myself and for my employees, to make sure that things are going well. And so many people, they come in and they just think like, oh, if you have a storefront, then you have something going on. Like, listen, it's stressful. But I took my interchangeable skills from working 9 to 5s, from working for other people, for working for myself, and treating it in that manner to build something to be successful. And so many people, they're just lacking all over the place. And so I want that. And then please do not cash flow. Don't quit your job. That part, right? Because everybody just want to wake up. Oh, I'm putting in my 2 weeks, or I'm just not showing up. And I got a business. So when you say that, I get so passionate about it. Please excuse me, because I have, several employees. I have so many people. I've been through so many things. And it's just like, I just can't believe like the lack of work ethic in this generation. And so many people just like, I'm a boss. I got an LLC. Okay.
This sounds like we need to have another conversation.
I know, it's a part two. I feel I'm happy for the question, Mama, because, and even adding the motherhood piece on top of the entrepreneurship, right? And because, like, for me, balancing a 9 to 5, because like you said, cash flow, don't quit your job. I ain't quit my job, y'all.
Please
I'm
don't
still
quit
here.
your job.
And I'm not going to quit my job until something, actually shakes financially, because entrepreneurship, having a business is not a hobby. If you're for profit, that's what you're looking for, profit, right? And so it's like, if you don't have that cash flow, why would you stop the cash flow that you already have to sustain your life? And y'all, hey, life ain't getting no easier, and it ain't getting no cheaper, because I know y'all see them gas prices, and I know y'all see them grocery prices, okay? And if you're a mama, like y'all watching, I know you've seen them diaper prices and all the other things and daycare and, so it's like.
We're not going to even talk about.
We're not going to talk. I don't want to talk about daycare.
Schools.
Okay.
We're not going to get
we're
not going to go.
I'm so grateful for it.
I'm super grateful.
But
super grateful.
When I have to pay that bill every week,
I shed a little tear.
I reconsider,
I
sometimes.
shed a little tear.
Until it's paid. And then I stop reconsidering.
I shed a little tear, but then I look at them like, oh, you're learning so much.
You're learning.
You're doing it.
And you're away from the house learning.
True.
I'm going to say that with a smile. Love them kids.
We love
them.
them.
Love them. But you do need that break, mama. So when you think about being an entrepreneur as a mom, that can also be a lot more discouraging as well, just because of the time, And that's one of the things that even I've been struggling with is really finding the time to dedicate to it, because I do think about, okay, well, what if I didn't have that 9-to-5 job? What if I didn't have to do motherhood responsibilities? That would be more time that I can allocate to my business, right? But then, like we said earlier, it's about prioritizing, you know? And so I just feel like as a mom, like just being more thoughtful on the time that you're spending throughout your day. Because, we spend a lot of time scrolling and doing all things, right, that are not dedicated to family or your journey into entrepreneurship. And so just kind of be thoughtful on how you're spending your time and look at your day, sketch out your day. There is an app called Structured if you have an iPhone. Sorry, Android users. But if you have an iPhone, it's called Structured, and you can literally insert everything from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. And that app will tell you like, hey, maybe you should rest, or hey, here's your gap time. And when you actually look at your schedule, I know I did that because I was like, oh, I'm so busy. I'm doing all this. And then I'm looking at my schedule and I'm like, well, I actually have these 2 hours here to spare, but I'm probably scrolling Instagram or whatever I'm doing. And sometimes you do need that time, right? Because it's nothing wrong with that. It's like, it's a mental break sometimes. Well, depending on what you're looking at. But you kind of just see where your time is going. And so if you're starting up as an entrepreneur, it's definitely going to take a lot more time because you're starting, right? You got to start somewhere. But my motivation comes from community.
Yeah.
The people around me. And that's why it's important to watch who's around you too, whether it be your family, friends. Everybody doesn't want the same for you that you want. And so you have to just be mindful. And anytime that I get discouraged, I'm telling my man, I'm telling my mama, I'm telling Bree. Like, we'll talk all the time. Like, I'm not feeling it today. I don't know what's wrong. Like, and sometimes you have to have your community to remind you of your why, because they know what you've told them. So it's like, let's reel it back in so that you can pick back up where you left off with those emotions of feeling like you're not doing enough or things are not going the way that you want them to go, and be okay with the process.
Yeah.
For sure.
So that's my advice.
This has been great.
It's been amazing.
This has been great.
It has been amazing. I think this was a great, first show, episode 6.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be here. I can't wait.
6.
Oh, season 6. I'm a mama.
Mom brain.
I know y'all been hearing Ava in the background, a little bit.
Look, and it's
I still had the pregnancy, right?
Look,
it's okay.
And it don't stop.
We're making it work.
But no, season 6 is here, y'all. Episode 1, we're here. We're excited. And we have a lot in store for y'all. So just make sure y'all tune in, subscribe to the YouTube channel, all podcast platforms, major platforms. Make sure y'all subscribe so y'all can catch this drop every Friday. So thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next time for episode 2.
Bye.